We have a question. I want to get into streaming, but I've got no savings. Lost my other job recently. Realistically, how much should I save and wait before giving streaming an honest try? You should never stream full-time and not work. Ever. Ever. Unless you are over like 1,000 viewers and you're making enough money to live off of streaming. Even then at 1,000 viewers, depending on how you monetize things, that might not be that much, because it might be enough for you to pay for your apartment or whatever, but it might not be sustainable. And this isn't a long-term career, so you can't like just make ends meet and then be like, oh, this is good. It's like with streaming, that's really bad for you. So I would say streaming is something you can, so long as you already have the equipment, you can just do it for free. Like OBS is free, hitting go live is free. If you're gonna just game on your own anyway as a hobby outside of real life shit, then just stream that. Just do it. But that is your decent try. That is your, I do my real life stuff and then after that I stream. That is your decent try. There is no, I'm gonna stop everything, have money saved, and then I'm just gonna stream full time for a bit to try it out. There is no good try like that, because the chances of this working out for people in a way where they could make enough money for it to not work are really, really low. It's exceedingly low, those chances. And you put yourself in a bad spot. You do yourself a disservice if you listen to people that are like, oh, follow your dreams because it's fun. No, like don't follow dreams that you could just do as a hobby anyway, still enjoy, not lose out on, but still have a job and then, you know, not bankrupt yourself for. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to give up stuff. You don't have to give up a job to stream. You just have to give up some time. But yeah, just like focus 100% on getting a job and working. Once you have something, then look at your schedule, find gaps. Assuming you get all the other stuff in your life done and you have some time, that's where you stream. And then you really try it. There's nothing wrong with like putting in a really good effort and taking a hobby really seriously. There's nothing wrong with that. You can really try. But the worst thing you can do is make it like the thing that is the only thing earning you money, because then you're gonna see it as a way to earn money and not like, I just want to make content. You know, it's okay to monetize that after you flex yourself creatively and figure that out. But when you're starting out, it should not be about money ever, you know? And it's not that I'm suggesting that people are trying to make it about that. It's just that it will naturally become that if you don't have a job actively and then you're just streaming. Like it will naturally happen whether you want it to or not, whether you set out for that or not, you know? And that's the part that stinks. So yeah, just do it as a hobby. Ta-da! Don't do it with anything. I know friends that do it with art too. They're like, oh, I want to study art. I want to be an artist. And I'm like, hey, you can be an artist, but the chances of that working out for you and making you enough money to live off of are actually pretty low. Pretty low. So do it as a hobby, study hard on the weekends, whatever. If you really want to save up, yeah, and do 6 months to paint in a shack, you can. But it's not like you're doing this thinking this will make me money. It's more like I'm doing this purely to make my skills better. And then I'll work. And then do painting or whatever the fuck on the side. And then if that works out, it works out, right? That's the way to think of it. Streaming is the same thing. Anything creative is like that. Like, you do have to hone skill, but just do your shit, man. Just do your shit. Most bands you listen to are less smaller groups, but all of them do it as a hobby or passion project, never expect it to be their job. They hold down jobs separate to it. Yeah, because the thing is, like, if you want to do something fun or creative for yourself, I think the moment it becomes, like, dire that you make money off of it, you have to start sacrificing doing just what you want to do creatively. You have to start, like, just doing what would make money, which is, like, no longer a passion project. I feel like it defeats the purpose of why people are trying to do it anyway. And it's fine, again, if you do a thing, you're passionate about it, you're creative with it, whatever, and then from there you figure out how to monetize that. But you have to establish what that is first, and it's to be yours, and then you try to monetize it. You know what I mean? If you just go into it and you're like, I want to do this for the sake of monetization, it's like backwards, you know? Know what I mean? Okay, we got a paragraph. Here we go. GEEGA, I am a mechanical engineer and I want to support VTubers/gaming and the community. Okay. I'm currently unemployed and have good savings. Okay, go get another job. I tend to perform my best when working for people I care about. Don't care. Go to get a job not about people that you care about, because mixing your care with your work will always cause you problems. You said, do I have any suggestions for you on how you can work with or in the industry? Don't work in this industry. Content creation and gaming has no money in it. And I'm saying this 100% real to you, because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, follow your passions, make no money, haha, and then you're like super sad 10 years down the line. You're like, why the fuck did I do that? There's a reason why almost all esports orgs go under. There's a reason why all sorts of agencies go under. There's a reason why a lot of creators create a lot of companies and they go under. They end up just having a team of like 3 people around them at the end of the day. There isn't actually, I know it looks like there isn't actually much money to be made in this space. There are a few people at the top that make buku bucks, but for the vast majority of people, they're making normal person money, okay? And that's it. And think about yourself, a normal person working a normal job. Would you have the money to pay an entire company of like 3 people to support you doing your job that you already do? Not really. Not really. So I wouldn't look at it like that. Now, if you want to do passion projects, you want to do extra work, there are things you can do, but I wouldn't do it as like a, let me do this in lieu of a normal job kind of thing. I would get a stable normal job that you don't hate, and then look for stuff to do on the side. Like you could make creator tools and things. There's stuff to be made. There's stuff to do. I think honestly the biggest support is just being an involved community member, though. Personally, I think that's better more than anything. Just being an involved community member is the best. But I wouldn't want people like looking at this industry like it is one that you really can do a lot in if you're not a streamer yourself, because you kind of can't. I'm gonna be honest. Vast majority of like managers, people like that, make like no money. There's no money to be made. And the only time there is when you are working for one of the very top people who they make the most money, so they do have something to pay you. And there's so few of those people, and they have people clamoring to work with them, and it's not worth the headache, the strain, trying to like be the one that finally gets chosen for this one manager role or this one dev role, or whatever, that kind of stuff. It's just really tough, and I wouldn't recommend it. Now, again, I would say making tools for creators is a really good way to do it. Passion projects and stuff. 100%, there's stuff to be done, but do it as projects you're interested in. Do it on your own time. I know several people in this community that have made little things. There's some people who like game development, so they go to a game jam. But what they do is when they go to the game jam, they use like the faction mascots and things as the backdrop, and they're like, I'm gonna make a game, but it's gonna be for this community. I'm gonna do the task that I'm gonna do this game jam, but I'm gonna make little sprites that look like, like the slimes right up here, these 3, and they'll be the 3 little guys, and they're gonna do this thing, and they'll make a game and then submit it here, and we'll all be like, oh, that's really cool. A lot of us will play it. Yeah, like Ray makes them. Stuff like that. And that way you can be involved. You can make a thing that you're passionate about. You can have fun with it. You can show it to people. It can get played or whatever. And that's great. But you're not like sacrificing an entire normal stable job to do it. I think that's the way to do it. Honestly, just passion project that. Know what I mean? Yeah, you said make the robot that GEEGA can pilot around cons. That's what I'm saying, right? Like things like that. You said you're into mechanical engineering, so if you wanted to make a little tool that could in some way let VTubers do something at a live event. Let's say you wanted to make the Dap Me Up robot, okay? So you want to make a setup where there's an iPad on there. You want to figure out how to get good connection. Should it be in a place like that, and hook all of that up? You want to make a little robotic hand that like they can use WASD and use, a little in-browser tool to then move the hand around and dap someone up. Like you could make stupid shit like that, and then like find, if you're in someone's community, maybe hit them up and be like, hey, are you doing any events? I have this thing, and do you want to try it? All right, like stuff like that. You could physically bring it to an event and then have them like remote in, and etc. etc. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do that like would help the community, would be really neat. But you're not gonna make money doing that. So definitely make it a passion thing, I would say. I think if you're in this industry, not as a creator, and you're looking to make money, the only things you could do are be a really good editor. Really good editors can find work in this space for sure. There's always a need for good editors, but a lot of people don't have a lot of money to pay editors, so the pay isn't that high. That's kind of it. That's it. That's the only thing that you as a solo person could do to like be working with creators and making some money for yourself and like really involved. That's literally it. And there's a good number of editors out there. That's why I was saying, like, maybe making tools for people. I think Fuji's a good example. Fuji has made stuff for VTubers. So, you know, when someone calls in, or they call it Fugies, someone will be like, oh, they're Fugies there, and there's a little picture, and when they talk on Discord, the picture lights up, and they can change the PNG of it. That was just a tool that Fuji made, and he released for VTubers. He made this years ago because he was just in this community as a friend of a lot of VTubers, and was like, you know what would be really cool? If instead of using the Discord stream kit, where it just has like a little circle with their profile picture light up, if you could put like a custom PNG, because VTubers have that. So he made this tool that just looks at who's in a Discord call, and if they have a PNG on his platform, instead of showing their profile picture, it shows that instead. Ta-da! Right? He just made a tool that he thought would be useful for people. And now thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people use that tool. The number of creators that use that tool is insane. Pretty sure he loses money on Fuji's. Yeah. He pays all the like the hosting costs and everything, all the bandwidth and whatever is all on his end. Some people donate, but like no one has to pay for it. It's just a free tool. So even though he used that and he has a big user base, he still doesn't like make a lot of money on it at all. He makes negative money on it. So that's why I'm saying like there isn't really money to be made in this space. It's tough. I do think it'd be nice if people would pay for tools. So I do think if you have a thing like that you want to make, maybe add some sort of payment model somewhere as possible. I don't know. But it's tough because people want everything for free. So it is what it is. He said, I've decided that making beer money with art on top of my 9 to 5 is the best option. I have no social life, but there's no free lunch. Yeah. I mean, that's what I did with streaming, right? I had my 9 to 5, which was more like a 9 to 7 or 8. I would end that for the day, eat food, and then hit start stream. That's what it was, right? Beer money. Same thing. And then it ended up working out really well. And I ended up switching to that being my main thing. But it wasn't until it worked out really well and I got like physically ill and literally could not do my job anymore that I made this my job, you know? Up until then, I was like, nah. Your real ass qualities are conflicting with my young naive worldview, and frankly, I don't like it. I don't know anyone who's been like, let me stop school for a bit or stop work for a bit just to stream for 6 months, and then been like 2 years later, wow, that was a great idea. I don't know anyone, a single person who's done that. And I know a lot of people who've done that, okay? If anything, it sets people back more than that 6 months over and over and over. And I don't want to see people making bad decisions for something that has a low chance of working out. I would never advise someone to do that. you know, you're gonna be happy when like starting out with it. You're gonna be excited for it, but then later on you're gonna be miserable. So it's just not worth it. Not worth it. When you were working and streaming, what did your free time look like, if you had any? I had practically none. I had one. I think I just had Saturdays off of both. But I still worked every Saturday anyway, and I still did community stuff in the Discord on Saturdays. So I didn't have free time. I didn't. You said you need people to tell you no. If you're truly passionate about something, you will go for it anyways, in my opinion. Yeah, but don't get that attitude of like, I'm so passionate, I'm gonna ignore what everyone tells me who has actual experience and wisdom doing this thing, you know, and then fucking yourself over. But also I agree, like if they're that passionate, yeah, they're just gonna do it anyway and you can't change their minds, so whatever. All right. You know, like people are gonna take advice or not take advice. You can only give it and leave it on the floor in front of them and hope they pick it up, right?
Follows your dreams, but you need to be smart about it.
Yeah.
Do you have money? Do you have a backup plan? I hate to say ignore your dreams, but make sure that dream fits into reality.
Yeah, exactly. You can have both. You can be realistic and follow dreams at the same time. When you just do one, you're doing yourself a disservice. If you're purely going the practical route and you're not doing a single thing that you like or are passionate about, that sucks. Maybe the practical route you also really like, and that's okay. But yeah, if your reality, your real job is something that just brings you absolutely no joy, then yeah, you should have some sort of thing on the side that you follow that balances that. But yeah, I think it's all about balance. You should never just do one. Never ever. You have a purty. You got a purty voice.